Hello everyone, welcome back to this YouTube channel where we give voice to mothers, fathers, grandparents, everyone that wants to expose child trafficking, legal child trafficking done by social services. Yes, you are listening correctly. And today we have another mother, another strong mother that wants to give voice to her children. Today we cannot see the face of this mother, and she's going to explain why. Hello.
Hello.
I believe you have not turned on your camera. Can you do it, please, without moving your phone? Because otherwise, I believe I'm just going to be myself on the image. So when you have answer. Yeah, that's perfect. That's correct. Okay, so you can leave that. That's good. Right. So welcome back to this YouTube channel, and hello, mother.
Hello.
And today we have, I'm going to say, is an Asian mother. First of all, because she is Asian, and that's the reason why she does not want to give her face. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, yes.
Can you, why are you afraid to show your face? Is because you are fearful of any trouble on your community?
I am very fearful for trouble from my community, and plus trouble from my ex-husband, who's very abusive, and plus the local authority as well. They would hold that against me.
Yeah. So you are, and the local authority involved is Reading back in UK. Is that correct?
That's correct. They're called Brighter Futures for Children.
Say that again?
The company is a private funded company, and it is called Brighter Futures for Children.
That I have to smirk with that, because everything is not brighter with the social services, but
it's not.
Yeah. Reading, let me share with the audience that Reading to me is a very special place, because it was the town that has received me back in UK. So it's a place that I know quite well, and it's very special to my heart. I have lived in there for 2 years, and so that's why Reading is special, right? Mother, I believe that this case started in 2021, but would you like to explain to us why you are here, please?
Basically, I would like to get my children's voices and my voice heard on the injustice that we have suffered by social services, and we just need, my children want to come home, and the social workers are just forcing and abusing my children to stay in care.
How many children have they taken from you, and when?
I have 4 children. My oldest daughter has gone by her own wishes. My 3 younger children were taken off me last year, and they are the ones that are suffering severely. And the second is a daughter. My second child is a daughter. My third child is a boy, and my youngest child is a girl.
How old are they, or how old were they when they were taken?
My second daughter was 14. My son was 13, and my youngest daughter was 8.
Okay, so the oldest one, when was taken, was 15, and you say that was taken because on our own decision, and we will go and analyze that. Then the 14, yeah?
Sorry to interrupt, my love. My oldest daughter that went on her own, she was 14 when she went on her own.
Okay.
And the younger 3 children that were at home with me and wanted to stay at home with me,
yeah,
The second daughter that wanted to stay at home with me was removed from my care when she was 15. My son that wanted to stay at home with me and was perfectly safe in my care was removed when he was 12. He just turned 13.
Okay.
And my youngest daughter, who wanted to stay at home with me and they were perfectly fine in my care, she was 8.
Yeah. So let me ask you, how do you believe that all of this started? What triggered this situation, and why do you say that your oldest daughter went to the social services because she wanted to?
Basically, it all started that my oldest daughter went to social services and she wanted a better lifestyle, basically, because we were living in temporary accommodation in one room. We were cramped. She was sharing a bed with her second sister, and her brother was sharing the room as well because we were all in like a 1 bedroom apartment, because that was a temporary accommodation the council had given us. It was moldy. My eldest daughter wanted to have a better lifestyle.
So let me interrupt you in there. Has the council gave you a house with mold?
Yes.
Is that not bad for the health of the children? Do they not knew that you had children?
It is bad. Of course it's bad. But what it is they go, because they say the population of the UK is growing so rapidly, they are running out of houses. And what's happening is, even though the social workers knew I had asthma and respiratory problems, my children had asthma, they still gave us that property. We were all cooped up. They were away from family, friends. They were away from people that they knew. We were basically lumbered outside of the town, in a little apartment. It was just congested and it was small. It was like, we didn't know no one. The kids were suffering. And I do think that my oldest daughter, when she had social services visiting her school, and they said, she came home and told me that she said to me, she goes, social workers came to the school and said, if there's any issues going on, we are there to help. And I would like to discuss my house situation. So I do think that they triggered all of this and she just wanted an escape. And she came up with lots and lots of allegations, which were all completely false, may I add. And instead of allowing the child to speak, they kept asking her leading questions.
Yeah.
They kept saying to her, what have they done, or what have your parents done, or what has your stepdad done to you? And I do believe that because my eldest daughter wanted a better lifestyle, wanted to be more westernized, wanted to not have a curfew to come home, wanted to be more in the sense of going out, partying, drinking, which I may add, I don't have nothing against, because I was born and brought up in the UK as well, so I dress modestly. Yes, I do follow my religion. Yes, we do belong to the Asian community. But alongside that, I've always maintained that my children are free to go out with their friends, be respectful, but they had to respect the curfew. If I wanted you home by 7, you have to be home by 7, unless there is like a buses emergency, or there's something going on, like there's traffic or whatever, which my children would ring me and say, Mum, there's traffic, we're going to be late, we're going to be half an hour, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, fine by me.
Okay, so we cannot see you, obviously. So you wear, what's the name that you wear, the thing that you wear on your around your face?
That is called a hijab.
All right.
It's a headscarf, yes.
And then you use, let me say like this because I don't know any other way, you use large clothes, correct?
Yeah, modest clothing, that's correct. So my body shape is not being shown. I wear jeans, I wear dresses, but I don't show any part of my body.
Yes, and on the Muslim religion, you would not. Let me just ask you this because now it's nothing got to do with you, obviously, but it's just a curiosity that I have. In the Portugal Big Brother right now, there is a woman that she wears the hijab.
Yeah.
But she wears very tight dresses. Does that follow the Muslim religion?
Basically, it doesn't, because there's no point of wearing the headscarf and you're showing parts of your body. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
The reason why to wear the hijab is basically you are wearing it to show that you are respecting yourself for God, because God has said that He has said in the Quran, He has mentioned that women are like diamonds. You don't show your diamonds out to people. You cover them and you respect yourself. I cover myself up for God.
Okay.
You know? I don't want random men looking at me and oogling at me and thinking, oh, she's got a nice body shape. No.
No, yeah. That was nothing got to do with you. It was just a curiosity. But because when I was in UK, that's when I saw more Muslim community, which one is not very big in Portugal. So now seeing that in Big Brother did not make any sense to me. Right, anyway, what I wanted to ask you now is, once you're 15 years old girl, so she's a teenage, she's in the school, she's going hormones, she's comparing herself to the life of the other girls that probably they would have better conditions, and she would see that on the clothes, she would see that on the watch, on the phone, on all those things. And do you think that the social services, they could go on to her and say, hey, we can help you, providing you a better life if you go against your mother and if you say that she's abusing you, and then we promise you to have a better room, to have nice clothes and this and that?
100%, because one thing is, there is a rise in a lot of Islamophobia in the UK, and especially in schools where they are like, because I'm sure you must have heard, as you've been in the UK yourself, there was a lot of controversy back a couple of 2-3 years ago where there was an issue about children being taught about same-sex marriages and books being coming out, which I don't have no issue against. But if I don't want to teach that to my children, as a parent, I have every right. And because obviously the wider Muslim community in the UK was against that, I do feel that social workers had this agenda that they would go up to mostly Asian Muslim children and would target the ones that would be more vulnerable, because obviously if you are living in a council estate and in temporary accommodation, you automatically, the social workers have your addresses, your names, your things about you, so you are an easy target for them.
Yeah, and you are in a vulnerable situation. And
100%. And obviously, because it's a private rented company, it's a privately funded, it's a private funded company. So the more children they take into care, the more money they will make.
And how much money are we talking about?
Over per child, I have recently found out through other resources and other mums whose children, Muslim mums may I add, especially Muslims, 100,000 per child that they are giving away to the company, and they are giving over £60,000 a year in bonuses for more children, especially Muslim children, that they can take into their care.
That is a good business, isn't it? That makes a lot of money.
Oh, it does. And of course, the children's human rights have been violated. No one is listening to what the children want and say. Why is it that one child who wants to be away from her mum and her siblings and her family is given all the luxuries in life, but then there's 3 children that are saying they haven't suffered nothing, their sister is lying, and they would like to be at home with their mum in their mother's care. Their mum loves them, they're perfectly safe in their mother's care.
Mm-hmm.
Those children their basic human rights have been violated.
Yeah.
They have been sexually assaulted by foster carers, religiously assaulted by foster carers and social workers.
Mm-hmm.
They have been targeted emotionally, psychologically, verbally abused,
Mm-hmm.
and said, the social worker said to my son, oh, if your Allah was so great and you believe so much in him, you wouldn't be in this situation. And my son told me that in contact. And what the social workers are doing is they keep constantly dragging me back to court. Any evidence I show that this is what the social workers are doing, the judge, the social worker, and the court guardian are completely disregarding it, calling myself and my younger 3 children liars, but their story has not changed. They have been consistent in what they are saying since 21 up until now.
Let me interrupt you in there, please.
Yeah.
So we can go into certain things more into detail. Your oldest daughter, which
Yes.
accusation has she done against you?
She's accused me of abuse, sexual abuse against me and my husband. She's accused me and my husband of physically hitting her. She's accused me and my husband of forcing her into marriage, which is all false, by the way. All lies.
Now, I suppose that the social services, they would have taken her to a hospital, to doctors, to check if she was being sexually abused or she has ever been sexually abused. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, the social workers took my daughter after 10 days to a private funded hospital to get her checked out, and there was no DNA. There was absent DNA.
Was there anything on the body or
No marks on her body at all of any kind. My daughter had said that I was keeping her hungry. Her weight was 57 kgs at the time, and she was fit and healthy. There was nothing there to say that she was a victim of abuse.
And have they done any psychological tests on her?
No, they haven't. They said that they will do a psychological test, and when I said it should be NHS funded, they did not agree. They go that they would like to get a private doctor to do it, because I do believe that the private doctor will then do whatever the social workers want them to say and do.
Yeah, because if they are paying for a result, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Now, you said that your oldest daughter, after doing all these complaints against the mother and the husband, and what she's saying is completely opposite to the brothers, she has been given luxuries. Is that correct? What do you mean with that?
She was given She was given luxuries in the sense that she was given a brand new room. She was given clothing, expensive clothing. She was given her a new iPhone. She was given, she was allowed to stay out for longer periods. She was allowed to have stayovers with boys as well. She was allowed to have social media where she was interacting with adult men. She was involved within terrorist activities as well.
What do you mean with that?
Basically, she was involved in a group chat with adult men that believe that anybody that has a very religious views should be killed, and she was commenting and passing videos around of a white male being a white and a brown male, sorry, were being beheaded, and she put laughing emojis and she wrote down that yes, they both deserved it, and people like that should be bombed. It's very upsetting for me as a mum to actually read that my daughter was involved with that. And then while she was in the social worker's care, my eldest daughter was meeting random men. She met a 44-year-old man, and bear in mind she was only 15 at the time. She met him up in London to go to a hotel. She was on Snapchat in an adult website. She was putting pictures up of herself, of her cleavage, of her lower regions. She was putting up videos of herself doing really sexual dances around the pole. And when I raised that, actually the judge, social worker, and the guardian turned around and said, she's expressing herself and I should allow her to express herself. Those were the exact words that they used.
She is expressing herself, and she was 15 and dealing with a 44-year-old man. So that is not abuse, that is not pedophilia, that is just expressing herself.
Yes, apparently in the eyes of the judge, the local authority, and the eyes of the judge guardian, they said that she is allowed to express herself. She has got freedom to express herself. So I said, I turned around and I said, so this is the kind of thing that I was protecting my daughter from, but you've just handed her, a vulnerable child, to a group of pedophilia men, and you think it's absolutely fine. She was the only girl in her Snapchat group with up to 25 men where they were asking her sizes about her chest. They were asking her how she likes to have it done. They were asking her things like, I can't even mention on this, it's disgusting. They were asking her things like, has she ever sucked on a penis?
Yeah.
I would rather your viewers know that this is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
This is what my daughter's going, and she was happily answering all these questions. And they were saying that one of them even said that we would like to do a double, one on you, which, that makes me physically sick. And all of this just makes me physically sick that, this is what the social workers allowed it because she's expressing herself.
But how did you know about these things? Because it was public on that Snapchat?
It was made public on Snapchat, and my nephew, who is 22 years old, by the way, actually saw a video of her doing a very sexual dance in her bra and in her thong. He then rang me and said, Auntie, this is what I've just seen. What should we do? I then looked up that Snapchat and I took screenshots, took videos of what my daughter was doing, and it was disgusting. It made me physically sick because if my daughter was doing this at home, the social workers would have been, oh, it's a safeguarding issue. The mother's not keeping the child safe. But since she's been in their care, she's meeting random men. She's in adult websites. She's sending money to men. She's even sent her pictures of her cleavage just so men can send her money.
And the social services and the judge said she was just expressing herself.
She was expressing herself, and the correct word was used that even though I was born and brought up in England, I have very religious and very, my views are not very westernized. And I go, only because I say to my children that they should respect themselves, I am being accused of being an extremist.
And the other 3 children, they have a completely different behavior, and they have been given
They're absolutely different behavior. They've been, my second daughter has been sexually assaulted by the social worker.
What do you mean with that?
Basically, the social worker groped her, touched her chest, groped her boobs, her chest, and then the social worker was trying to look if my daughter's got a phone on her, and she put her fingers in my daughter's vagina to check, and my daughter could feel it. My second daughter, who was sexually assaulted by the social worker, has got mental health problems.
Mother, let me interrupt you in there. I'm
Just pause there, my love.
That's all right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just interrupt you. And you said that the social services put her fingers inside her 14-year-old girl because she was looking for a phone.
That's correct.
Let me say that I don't know the size of the phone, but I think that any phone inside of a vagina would be way too big for a girl to have it, and is disturbing, is sickening, is just a sick excuse. It's beyond any kind of I don't have words to describe it. So how do you know about these? Has your daughter told you, and that's the excuse that your daughter has been told?
My daughter told me, and she was in tears. She goes, Mum, the social worker done this to me. I called the police straight away. I made complaints. My daughter's been self-harming. She wants to kill herself because she feels dirty. Sorry, excuse me.
No, that's all right. That's all right. So you're 14 years old. She is the one that, because of everything that you told her, she knows what is correct and what is wrong. And she's the one that has the initiative to call the police to say this woman has touched me on my private area. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. She called the police as well. I called the police as well. And the police then went and spoke to the social worker, and they brushed it under the carpet. They go, no, she's got mental health issues, she's lying. She's doing this so she can go back home to her mum. Those were exactly the social worker's words that she used to the police.
And has your daughter, she called the police on that moment, or was only on contact when she was telling you the things?
She called the police at that moment. Yeah.
Okay.
And I called the police when my daughter told me in the contact.
Yeah.
I called the police straight away, and I've been asking for reports, what's been happening, it's all been brushed under the carpet. I've been, and apparently the social workers manager has said, oh, we've got an own independent agency that does the investigation. And I went, no, I'm sorry, I'm not taking that.
Yeah.
So my eldest daughter lied about her abuse, and you have dragged me through court. Why didn't you get an independent investigating team to investigate her claims then? Why is it that you've got the police involved and taken my kids off me, but this social worker is still working around children, is still on the case, is still around and making reports for my children, but she's the one that's abused my kids?
You know, I always have heard about sexual abuse, and for me, probably because I'm a woman, I don't know, when I think about abuse, I don't know, but in my mind, it would be easier, I would say, and forgive this word, but it will be easier to understand a man abusing a girl or a man abusing a boy. But for me, a woman to abuse a girl, it's hard. It does not make any sense. Maybe because I'm a mother, but even just being a woman, I do not. It's not possible for me to understand how a woman abuses a girl.
And a woman as well who has told me on many occasions that she's a mother herself. She feels sorry for me and my children, and she wants finality for me and my children. My children should be returned home, but then she's split. I do think social workers, and I don't think I know, social workers are sexual predators hiding behind a title of professionalism.
Yeah, and let me say that I didn't mean that I do not accept.
I know that.
It's just that I do not comprehend how a woman does that to children. I don't accept no kind of abuse to children. For me, I don't even know how an adult, and excuse me, I was going to say a word, swearing. I don't even understand how adult people, they have the courage to destroy a soul of a child because he's so pure, and to do that to children is just horrible. Now, your 14 years old girl, she was abused by that social worker. Have these 3 children, have they been separated, or they have been kept on the same foster house?
My 14-year-old that's been abused by the social worker has been separated from her younger siblings. The 2 youngest, the boy and the younger girl, are together, but the social worker is doing everything she can to try and separate them. And she's even allowed a foster carer to physically assault my son and my younger daughter. She's allowed the foster carer to say to my youngest daughter, who's autistic, to say to her, to talk to her about sex and how babies are made, and she would drink alcohol and in front of my children, knowing that we are Muslims and alcohol is forbidden in our religion. She would say to my son that, oh, would you like to have a bit of vodka? Oh, your God's not going to tell you off if you have a bit of vodka, or have a glass of wine. And then she basically force-fed my son a pork sausage. And when I made complaints and my son made complaints, the social worker goes, my son is lying.
And what's the issue with the pork? You have to say it, please.
The pork is a forbidden meat in our religion. We are not allowed to have no bacon, no pork, no nothing like that. Everything has to be halal. You can have halal chicken, halal goat, halal cow, beef. But pork is one of those meats that is forbidden. We are not allowed it under any circumstances.
And what does it mean, halal? My personal curiosity, please.
Yeah, halal means basically when an animal is slaughtered under due to the Quranic verses.
Yes, and that's how it becomes halal. I'm sure you've heard of kosher meat as well. It's basically like what Jews and the Muslims, they recite scriptures from their holy book on the animal. That's how they become halal or kosher. So yeah, I hope that clears that up for you.
Yeah, thank you. So these foster people, they are not even respecting children. They are not protecting the children by offering. It's not just offering alcohol because your children are Muslim. It's because they are children. They should not be even given alcohol or any kind of drugs. But it's not just alcohol. You said that she has sexual behavior in front of your children, correct?
That's correct. My children, when they were coming to meet me face to face at a contact centre, my daughter, who's 8.5, said to me, "Mummy, the foster carer, was lying down on her boyfriend's lap and she was doing something." And basically, my 14-year-old and my son had to cover the youngest eyes, and my 14-year-old closed her eyes while she was doing all of that with the kids in the car. And when I told that to the social worker, she goes, "Your children are lying. Why would my children lie about something like that?"
Of course. Why, you know. And I'm sorry, that's disturbing. That's completely. Has your children? Do you see your children quite often?
No, I don't. I see them virtually. I speak to them on the phone for 2 weeks, and then the third week I see them face to face. And then the fourth week, I don't have no contact, which I think is ridiculous. I'm their mum. I should be able to see them. They miss me. They want to see me. They want to see their stepfather. But the social worker is not allowing it. And she is just creating issues and obviously saying that, the children are siding with their mother and calling the stepdad a good dad. I go, no, a child only calls somebody good when that person has been good with them.
Yeah. I believe that children, they don't lie.
No, they don't. And my son, he's ADHD and he's autistic as well. So he's very to the point. He won't beat around the bush. My youngest daughter is very, if she doesn't like something, or if my younger children are very sort of, if they don't like something, they will speak out regardless of what the consequences are. They'll be like, no, we don't like you. No, this is not how it's happened. So that's what the social worker doesn't like, because my children are not agreeing with the social worker and the guardian and the judge. And the judge actually said that it's the social worker's job to make the children agree with her and with the judge's judgment, because the judge gave a judgment of 93 pages with not a single shred of evidence, all lies based on the social workers. And she actually said to him, she made such derogatory comments about me, about my religion, about my culture, about me as a mother, about me as a human being. And she even said, she goes, "I'm amazed this woman even got married again. You know, look at her. She's not exactly Miss Universe." Those were the words that the judge used.
Oh my God. Do you know how much? Do you know? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, my love.
Do you know how much money the foster are making with your children? Do you know how much?
Yes, I know how much they are making. For my 14-year-old, they are making over £1,000 a week. For my 13-year-old, that is $950, and for my 8.5-year-old, they're making £800 a week.
A week.
A week.
Can you say how much is that per month, please? Like $1,000 per week. How much is that per month?
That would be over £4,500 a month. for my youngest, to round it all up, basically 5,000 for my oldest, 475 for each for my younger two.
Now, how much is the minimum salary now in UK, please, per month?
2,000 after cutting tax. £2,000, and that is very hard because the cost of living nowadays is so sky high, and people are struggling, and that is why the social workers do not want children to come out of foster care or want those children adopted, is because they're making more money. You know, the bonuses alone that social workers get are, they begin at £60,000 a year. The younger the child, the more money they get.
So, let me go back. A minimum salary in UK is £2,000 per month.
Yes.
And the foster care that has your 14-year-old girl, she gets double the minimum salary.
Yes.
And the foster people that they have, your two children, they are doing very well. They don't need to get up early. They don't need to get a train. They don't need to deal with none of those things, isn't it? So they just stay at home, and I suppose they would have plenty of money to buy clothes and food for your children. So I suppose when you see your children in contact, they are well dressed, they smell good. Is like that?
No, it's not.
Let me make one thing clear. They are getting money to look after the kids, and then they get a separate allowance. They get up to £500 per child every month, which is an allowance for the children's clothing, for the children's personal hygiene products, and my younger three children have got headlights infested in their hair. They smell, their clothes are dirty, they don't have nothing. They've lost so much weight because they're not eating. They have raised.
They are not eating, or they are not being provided food.
They're not being provided food. They're not being provided food. They are struggling severely. So what I'm doing is, when I go to see them, I'm making home-cooked food. I'm taking that there. And then I'm taking them clothing, sanitary towels, body sprays, shampoos. And my son had told me that I had made him home-cooked food so he could take it to school, because my children are being forced into separate schools, and he could have it there. And the foster carer took that food box out of his hand and threw that food in the bin. And when I raised that with the social worker, she turned around and goes, no, she didn't do that. And I go, no, I believe my son, because my son does not lie.
Yeah.
And actually, my son did say to me, my younger three children have said to me continuously that, Mama, when you bring us food, the foster carers get really annoyed that why do we have your food? Because obviously, being an Asian, being a mum, I'm cooking so much that they've got food so they can last them a good couple of days. And I'm making different varieties of food, like, fish, prawns, curries, stir fries, all that sort of stuff, so they can actually last them, so they can have that amount of food. And what my children have said, my 14-year-old, who's 15 now, my 13-year-old son and my youngest daughter have said to me on numerous occasions that the foster carers throw the food out. They're not allowed the food. They limit the snacks. They're not allowed to have the snacks that I give them. They are, they are told that they're not allowed to use too much water because the water bill is sky high. The heating is never on.
They are not allowed to use water?
Yes, basically they're only allowed to have a 10-minute shower and within that they have to make sure their teeth are cleaned, they've done what they needed to do, and that's fine. But at home, my children would like to fill up the bath and do bubble baths and then shower up and relax. Because for me, the thing is, as long as my children are happy, healthy and content, which they were at home, I didn't mind the bills. I'm happy because that's what mothers do. You provide for your children.
But they get enough money for all of that, but instead they are actually torturing the kids.
Yes, they are, and mentally and emotionally and psychologically abusing those children.
Let me ask you, when you bring the food to the contact, do the people that they are on the room checking and inspecting the room and what the kids they say to you, do they allow them to eat?
Yes. The contact centre has been, because it's a separate contact centre, they are very good, but they do say to the social worker that these children are eating like they haven't eaten in days. The mother is providing, what are you doing about these foster carers? And basically, when at the contact centre, when a lady raised her concerns, she's been taken off the case. She's not allowed to be in the same room when I go and see my kids.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted you to mention, the way they would behave when they would see food. So that really shows that they have been starved.
You should see my children. As soon as they see food, they eating with both hands. They like constantly, everything that they see constantly in their mouth, big rush. It's like they haven't seen food for so long. Juices. What is a juice like? A typical juice that you dilute with water. My children have been deprived of that as well.
For how long have they been on these? 3 years?
Basically, they've been with social workers for 3 years, and it's been 9 months now since my younger children have been taken away from me. But before then, when my children were at home with me, the social workers used to turn up. One time, a social worker turned up at my house at 1 o'clock in the morning to see what me and my children were doing. And I was like, we were sleeping. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. She was like, oh no, I just wanted to check. My son was sleeping in his boxers because it was hot weather, it was July time. She actually pulled the cover off him to see. And now I know she shouldn't have done that. She could not do that. Those are against my children's human rights. My daughter told me last week in contact that she said to the social worker that I'm not feeling well, I'm on my monthlies, my lady issues.
Yeah.
The social worker goes, I want proof. I want you to pull your knickers down and show me that you are bleeding. I am holding back my tears, but I want people to know that me and my children have suffered severely and are suffering.
And you are holding your tears because once you are speaking, is your cognitive brain working, and you cannot have space for your emotional, because once you are crying, you cannot speak. You cannot give voice to your children. So that's why when people they are speaking about horrible things, they are not crying. And people that have not been through that, they do not know what it means.
The thing is, the social worker thinks it's absolutely fine the way she's treating my children and me. She's been saying derogatory comments about me as a woman. She's been making derogatory comments about my religion, about my married life, about my age. She's sickening. It's sickening. It needs to stop. And the thing is, there should be, you know what, there are some very horrible people out there that do horrible things to children. By all means, capture those people, but don't take away children from loving parents. Don't break away siblings just so you can get your bonuses and you can, you know, when my children were taken off me, I want your viewers to hear this, that the social worker came to see me. She had Gucci, original Gucci shoes on. She had a Louis Vuitton bag on her. And she had a Versace a scarf around her neck.
Yeah.
And how can you afford that? She goes, well, I got my bonus. I bet you did get your bonus, didn't you?
Yeah, so that's an important topic that you are mentioning, because I have seen people commenting. So when I opened my new TikTok account, there was a lot of social worker comments, and one of the comments was, that's bullshit, sorry, that the social workers, they receive bonus. Now, how do we know that actually they receive bonus? Because they are the ones that brag about it, correct?
Absolutely. And also, that same social worker,
how much is it? Do you know?
I don't know, but I have heard through the grapevine who has been working very closely and is going to be, has told me that per child, it's like it starts off at 50,000, 40,000, and the younger the child, the more bonuses. It's all rubbish where people say no, they don't get, but they do get bonuses, because the way my social worker dresses now, I would never ever be able to afford that.
Yeah.
Never. I can't afford original Gucci shoes, and she's not got one, but two different Gucci shoes pairs. She's got Louis Vuitton bags. She's got Chanel scarves.
Yeah.
You can't afford that on a basic salary.
Yeah. But I believe that if evil exists, the problem is not that just evil exists. The problem is that the majority of the people allow evil to exist. So when people complain, the judge makes money. Probably they own children's home. Probably they have money on the foster and adoption agencies. They are private companies. The police, from my understanding, they are afraid of the social services, that they take their own children as well. I have been told by a lawyer that had their own kids taken as well. I was very surprised. I invite that person to an interview, but the person denied it because I suppose there is not so many lawyers. I don't know. So the person was fearful of speaking, and the issue, I believe, is even bigger, because no other lawyers or barristers, they want even to deal with that friend or that colleague from the university, because they are threatened as well. If you help your friend, we're going to take your children. So to who is going to help the children, the families? Because the journalists, they are not allowed to speak. The politicians, they know about it. European courts,
the politicians never help. I've asked my MPs, I've asked people, they go, no, we can't do nothing. The family court system was made so vulnerable children and families like myself could get justice. But if the judge is siding with the social workers, how can my children be saved?
Yeah.
Or many other children be saved from this abuse?
Now, in the family court that you have been, were you allowed, I know the answer, but I need to ask, were you allowed any witnesses on your side?
No.
So how many people were actually against you in court?
My ex-husband firstly.
Yeah.
local authority to the judge, my oldest daughter 4, the guardian 5. So I had 5 separate parties against me, and any evidence that I was bringing to the table to prove my innocence and my husband's innocence, the judge would throw it out. The judge wouldn't listen to it.
Yeah. Have they ever provided you any kind of solution, like if you do this or if you do that, you're going to get the children back?
No, they haven't, but they did say to me, they were trying to force me to divorce my husband, and they were saying to me that if I divorce my husband, maybe I could get my children back. But that goes against my human right. Why should I divorce my husband?
Because it's divide and conquer. That's the way they do with everyone.
And I'm not doing that. And that's the only issue that they are raising. They are saying, oh, she has not divorced her husband. I don't need to divorce my husband. I am not going to divorce my husband. You know, he's an innocent man. He's been targeted. I'm an innocent woman. I've been targeted. My younger 3 children are innocent children that have been destroyed by this judge and the guardian and the social work team. And no one is listening to us. And any evidence we bring to the table show our innocence. The judge throws it out. The guardian is like, oh, she's not being a good mum. She's putting her own sexual needs before her children. I'm not putting my sexual needs before my children.
Actually, you have mentioned to me on the first time that we spoke that your children, they have been asked something about from your sexual relationship, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Can you explain, please, what it was?
Basically, a foster carer asked my 8.5-year-old, saying that, have you ever seen your mum and your stepdad having sex? Do you know what sex is? Do you know how to have sex? Do you know how babies are made? And she pulled the condom out of the drawer, the living room drawer, and was showing my daughter. She opened it up and showed it to my daughter.
And what did your daughter say back to you?
When I spoke to her on the phone, she was like, Mum. I was like, yes, sweetheart. She was like, what is sex? And I was like, I beg your pardon. And she goes, what is sex? And I was like, why are you asking me that, Levy? And she was like, but the foster carer was saying this to me, and I was just horrified that a foster carer who's supposed to be vouched for, who's supposed to be safeguarding, who's supposed to be, you can't see my fingers out, but I'm doing those fingers out, that's supposed to be looking after these children, is asking them about sex. I was fuming.
Do they do the same questions in the school back in England?
Basically, they do sex education back in England, but they don't go to the extent of what the foster carers are asking my daughter. The only thing they would tell you about is how some children have 2 mummies, some children have 2 daddies, some children only have 1 mummy, or the daddy's looking after them, but they are made from a mummy and daddy, they are told about that.
Yeah.
But it's not explicit, it's very protected, as it were. That's what the law should have been. But the way these social workers and foster carers have been speaking to these kids is explicit. It's like horrible. And my daughter, who's 14, she actually said to me, she goes, Mum, I saw she had this. Of course, it's a sex toy, but she goes to me, she goes, Mum, she had this thing, and she was putting the condom on top of it, and I was like, you know what, it's fine. And obviously we're children nowadays, they know all these sort of things because from school. So she was so embarrassed, and she told the social worker. The social worker goes, oh no, the foster carer said it was her daughters. And I was like, no, how can it be her daughters? Why has she got handcuffs? Why has she got sex toys lying around, knowing that she's looking after somebody else's children?
And you have said as well before that they keep knives around, isn't it? Right in front of the children's eyes.
Yes, they do. The foster carer had, like, you know, that kitchen set, the knife set, from the big knives to the little knives.
Yeah.
And because my 14-year-old is prone to self-harm because of what she suffered,
Yeah.
she was triggered to cut herself. She wanted to end her life. She, on several occasions, she said that she wanted to just pick that knife up and just cut her wrists.
And they know about that, but they keep
Yes,
having
they know.
the knives in there.
The social worker knows, the foster carer knew. They said that, oh no, we are supposed to put them. And that's not a good enough answer, sorry.
I have heard that the foster carers are not carers. They get money to go on holidays, and the children, they are to stay back in UK.
That is correct.
Is it?
That is correct. Basically, my children, when I met them, when I had phone interaction with them last week, my children, because it was a week's holiday, half term in the UK.
Yeah.
What the foster carer does is she sends them off to a camp that the government pays for, and they go to the same camp. They do the same things every time. And she was off gallivanting off to Morocco, and she was, when my son told me that she's, the foster carer has gone to Morocco, and then she was going to, I think it was Egypt, and then she went to Pakistan, and then she went to Saudi Arabia as well.
So everyone back in the UK, let me ask you this. Do the community in UK, do the English, they know what the social services are? And have they heard about these things that you are describing or not?
Yes, they have. Most people do know what the social workers are doing. Most parents are either white themselves, British, from like British, Asians, British white people. They know what these social workers are doing, but no one, people are beginning to speak up, but the people that speak up, they are being penalised.
Okay. By who?
By social workers, they've been threatened. I have been, when I make complaints and I say this is what I'm planning to do, social workers have indirectly said to me that if you want your kids back home, you better shut your mouth and get on with it.
Yeah. And we know that people, they have been in prison, and when they post things on social media, then they delete the social media. I know that Kelly Jeffries, when she was arrested in Southampton, her videos on TikTok, they reached more than 1 million views, or 2 million actually. And from 4,000, she jumped to 40,000 followers, and now they shut down her account. I don't know if you know who that person is. I'm
not very viral on TikTok, but I have heard through mutual friends that we are supporting each other because her children have been taken off her as well, based on false allegations and false reports made by social workers. And she has said that any mum or any father that's posting things out and saying to parents like myself, and making us aware of our rights and what's being said and what's being done, they are being shut down, and they are being threatened with imprisonment and all that sort of stuff.
Is anyone at the moment giving voice to the children in UK?
There are organisations, but they've been shut down as well, because I never see them. I don't see them speaking out for the kids. That's the thing.
But is it not like United Nations? There's there is so many institutions. You know, in the other day, let me share with you. In the other day, I was watching one of the latest TV programs from Gordon Ramsay, and I like him, bless him. But I felt disgusted when they were saying that, oh, that cake has a lot of sugar, and we cannot give that cake with so much sugar to the children. And I'm like, I'm disgusted, because in UK everyone knows that social services, they are actually kidnapping children and putting them with pedophiles, and they're not protecting children. They are concerned with the sugar.
Yes. Thank you.
Disgusting.
Thank you for actually saying what most people are thinking right now. Thank you so much. Because you've just said it. Social workers are placing children with pedophiles, with known abusee people, and ripping those children away from loving families, loving parents. And what they are doing is they're worried about sugar.
It's disgusting. It's just disgusting. They are portraying that they are so good with children and the environment and this and that, but actually UK is probably the worst place on planet, is the worst place for children. And I know that America is as well. It's full of pedophiles. They are on the elite, and lots of things that are coming out now, especially on the music industry, and they are completely blatant about what they really are. Now, let me ask you, I'm sure that you have seen the portrait from King Charles.
Yes.
What do you think about it?
I don't know. I don't know because obviously the royal family's been in the news as well for all sorts, and Prince Andrew's been in the news. This is what my concern is that when people from the royal family are doing certain things and things are being brushed away, how can the people like us normal people get justice? Because we don't have money to give to people to hush it up. We don't have that sort of money to be fighting the solicitors and local authorities. There's nobody there to speak up for the kids. Because anytime, any organisation you go to, like the United Nations, like you said, go to the United Nations, speak to them. Any person you speak to, they go, go to your local authority. The local authority are the ones that are abusing the children. Apart from killing me and my kids, they've done the worst to us. They've tortured us. They've sexually assaulted my kids. They physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, they've done everything to break me and my children. Who are we supposed to complain to?
Yeah.
If the police or if the government or if no one's willing to help us.
Yeah. Regarding the picture, was not just the fact that he's red, it's the fact that joining one part with the other and doing this and doing that, it shows image on it. That itself I think it's more mind-blogging or
mind-boggling. I know.
Yeah. So even if the people, they do not want to see who is doing the child trafficking, I think that the even the young kids that they have been provided with a good family and good start in life. I think even then they have to think that there is something very weird on that. A king with a picture is all red, and it has to be very weird. So people, they have to start doing questions, and I think they are now. Like, where is the princess, and what's going on, and the other went to America and said things about the family as well.
Yeah.
I think people, they are starting doing questions, but there is no one at the moment providing for the children. There is no one that we can get help from. And 2 days ago, I believe, or yesterday, whatever it was, I posted another picture of a baby And the title of the picture was the mother describing that she was going to do goodbye meeting. So that means it was a baby and was taken from the mother and it was going for forced adoption. And one of the things that really upsets me is, you know, I have been on these and I have been exposing these for 8 years. And people that they have following me, and the question of that person was, how? Why? What do they use? I'm like, what? I have been for 8 years exposing these, and if there is still people that they know everything and they still cannot accept that they are child trafficking, because why?
I don't know. I really don't know. And you know, another thing is, also, I would like to make this clear that my ex-husband used to sexually abuse me and physically, emotionally, and you know, in every way that you can think of. And when I told the judge and the local authority, the judge laughed, and the local authority said, well, you deserved it. That's why he did it. That's what I was told. And then obviously my current husband, he got quite teary. He got very upset. Excuse me. And you know, he was like, that's not appropriate for you to say. And she's telling you her life history, and you're saying an abusee man who's been proven to be abusey is completely safe to be here, but because he was agreeing with the local authority and the judge, they laughed and they called my current husband all these racist words under the sun. They called him derogatory words, they degraded us, and the local authority are doing all of this just for money. It's all about money. The more children they take, the more money they will make. Because obviously it's a private funded company. I don't understand why local authorities, social services, it was supposed to be a government run program to help parents that abuse or are going through certain things in their lives, if they're alcoholics or if they abuse substances or if their children are not well or if they're struggling financially. Why is it throughout the UK they are all privately funded? Because they are making money. It's proper. This is what child trafficking is. It's child trafficking, but it's hidden under the umbrella of social services.
I don't think so that it's even hidden. It's in plain sight. And you know, you can see it through the music industry. You can see it now in the portrait of the king. Princess Diana told everyone as well, and has happened to her what has happened, and it's in front of everyone. Madonna did the concert and she expressed what she is about. The Eurovision concert was explicit to everyone what they are about. So,
you know, this is completely disgusting that these people are getting away, ripping good families, loving families apart with false allegations, with false paperwork. And what makes it even more disgusting is that the judges, the court system should be there to be protective about the children and listen to the children.
But that is your expectation. That's your expectation, and that's people's expectation that a government is in there to protect. But once the people remove that, so then they can see. But people, they do not want to see the reality. People, they cannot deal with that.
No, they can't. And obviously, like any time me and my husband would say in court to the judge, you want to call a so-and-so witness or stuff like that, the judge would laugh it off and say no. The judges in the UK, I'm not saying all judges, there are some very nice judges out there. Please bear that in mind. There are some lovely judges out there that are actually good, but the bad overrun the good. And the bad judges that I've had experience with have been completely derogatory, have actually said about professional doctors that were working with me and my children regarding our health, regarding my children's health needs, like being asthmatic, having hay fever. My 14-year-old daughter has got a condition called chronic pain syndrome, and it is why is it it's basically comes under the umbrella of ME and fibromyalgia. So my daughter's got chronic pain syndrome, and the doctor, the PhD doctor, who's from Oxford University, has diagnosed my daughter. The judge and the local authority said, "Oh, I must have bribed him. He's lying. My daughter hasn't got no illness." And the joke of the matter is that really frustrates me. I have shown physical evidence to state what we have, an illness or doctor's letters. They're being brushed under the carpet. And my daughter, who made the false allegations, my oldest daughter, who's living a life of luxury in the care of the local authority, she has got lawyers, she hasn't got no mental health issues, she's doing absolutely everything that you can think of under the sun and getting away with it. And the judge goes, "Oh, she's been going through trauma." What about my younger three children that actually are suffering with trauma, that actually have been abused by the local authority, that have been abused by this court system in the UK?
Let me ask you, are you working at the moment?
No.
Are you together with your husband?
No, I've separated from my husband.
And it was because of them?
Yes, it was because of them. And I said, I've already been divorced once. I don't want the stigma. I've been isolated in the community. If I do get divorced again, belonging to an Asian community, it's been very hard. Yes, there are some people now that are breaking this stigma, but it is very, very difficult. And I go, yes, I've separated from him, but I'm not going to get divorced, and they are holding that against me.
Who? The social services?
Yes, and the judge.
But you're not living with him, but still they're not happy.
Yeah.
They have destroyed the family, but they are still not happy enough.
Yes, exactly. Because when they destroyed my family, they abused my younger three children. They've given my oldest daughter, who's agreed with the social workers, to make false representations and allegations against me, my husband, and my younger three children. She's been given all the luxuries. Everyone listens to her, but my younger three children have been abused.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, sexually, financially. Our family has been ripped apart. I'm separated from my husband. I don't know where he is. He's suffering because obviously we're his family, and the social workers are still not happy. I know if I get divorced, what is the reassurance that I will get my children back?
They don't give you the children back. They just want just another step.
It is a step. And the thing is, when my second daughter, who's 14, she has got the capability. She's a very smart child. She said she would like her daughter, like a solicitor, to represent herself in court. The social workers didn't even give the doctor, that private doctor who did her assessment, to have all the paperwork, and she basically wrote a report saying no, that my younger three children should not have a solicitor because they don't understand what's going on. But my oldest daughter, who's agreeing with the social workers, who's been lying about everything, has got lawyers herself, she's got the guardians representing her, she's got the judge representing her, and she's got the social worker representing her. Who's representing those younger three children that actually have been sexually abused, have been mentally abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, psychologically abused?
Yeah. Oh, don't move your phone. Leave that in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in plain sight what they do and what they are and what is this about. Now, let me ask you, are you the only case in town, or do you know about other cases? Do you get support from other people? Can you speak with those people? Or your people around you, you can't even speak because no one believes you. People, they're going to ask you, what have you done wrong? Social services, they have done that to you is because you deserve it. How is it like?
Basically, there's a very big stigma around social workers. People think that social workers only get involved when you've done something wrong or you are not a good parent. Absolutely rubbish. That is absolutely rubbish because if you had met my supporting network and my family doctor and the schools, they would have told you that I'm a good mum. I attend all meetings. My children were loved, looked after. I've since being involved with social workers, I have had so much immense support from people within the Reading Town Centre, other mums that are going through similar things. One of my closest friends had social workers forcefully trying to take her kids away, and I said, no, you need to ask for the paperwork, you need to ask why they are getting involved with you. You need to ask them what is the reason for them to be involved with you. And when my friend then asked them, they were like, oh no, we want to work with you, we want to help you. They don't do that. And because I didn't want another mum to go through the heartache and that torture that I'm going through, why would I allow another mum to do that? And it's again, for social workers, it's numbers.
Yeah.
The more numbers they...
Were you able to protect that mother?
Excuse me, sorry.
That's all right. Were you able to make her aware?
I was able to help that mum. Her case was closed because then I told her to answer all these questions. She did. So she's become a part of my network, my supporting network. Also, I would like to make this clear that when my younger two children were taken away from my care, my youngest daughter, who's 8.5, had her arm broken in 4 different places. She had metal plates in her arm, and she was taken to a different country just so she could be away from me. The doctors had specifically said that she needed to rest her arm. Social workers didn't listen. Then my daughter was constantly crying with pain. She wanted to be at home with me. And then basically they were taking my daughter to her appointments. I was reminding them that they needed to take my daughter to her appointments. I was saying I need to be there. I'm not receiving no paperwork. Nothing. And every time I'm raising that question, it's falling on deaf ears. And the judge is just constantly siding with what the social workers are saying, what the guardian is saying, and the lies that my older daughter is telling.
And in the school, the teachers, they can smell your children, they can see the clothes, they can see that they have those things in their hair, the small animals, I don't know the name. So they can see those things. Do they not call the police? Do they not raise their concerns?
I don't know. I really don't know, because the thing is, I don't even know what schools my children go to. I've got full PR, and I don't know, because my daughter told me, my youngest daughter, she said she asked the teacher if she could help her put her hair up because her arm was hurting, and the teacher goes, "No, you've got head lice. You've got nits in your hair. I don't want to touch you, and you smell." My daughter was in tears, and this is an autistic child, by the way. And also, I have shown them medical proof, and I've shown them everything to show that I'm a good mum. My children were loved and looked after. No one is doing nothing. They just destroyed my life, my husband's life, my younger three children's life, just so they can make money. That is all.
Let me ask you. So you are still able to speak on the phone with your children, or sometimes have some contact with them?
Yes.
Obviously, they know who the mother is. They know your face. You know the face of your children. You do not know where they are at the moment. So, but how? I'm sure that you have the faith, and that's the only way to go. But
It's heartbreaking.
How do you see that the things they will go? What's your faith? What do you want to happen?
I want my babies back. I want my children to come back home where they belong. I want social workers and the judge and the guardian to pay, and my oldest daughter to pay for what they've done to me, my husband, and my younger two children. I'm suffering.
I know that your oldest, your daughter, I'm sure that you are very hurt for because of that, her behavior, what she has done to herself and to your children, to you, to all your family. But I'm sure that deep down you know as well that she's been used.
Of course, I know she's been used. She's been used as a pawn, and I just want her to open her eyes and rectify her mistake. I just want my children to come home. I've got faith. I have to have faith. Otherwise, I have to have faith. I've got faith in my God. I know my children will come home. I just need to keep fighting.
Yeah. And you know that after I believe that they are 16, correct? They can go home.
Yes. After they say that, but what they are trying to do is they're trying to keep my kids for full term.
They are trying to keep the kids what?
They are trying to keep the kids full term, so they can just force them off for adoption, even though my children are at that age where they can't be adopted. And the social workers are doing everything they can, because the more children that are in the care system, the more children that are adopted is like the company. Every child that's adopted, Brighter Futures for Children gets £100,000 a year for every child that's been adopted or is in the care system.
Yeah, but they are not going to get adopted. No one wants these older children. So now, once they are 16, can they come out, or they are going to keep them until they are 18?
They normally, according to the law here, to the human rights law, they should be able to come out once they are 16, but they try to keep them until they're 18 because obviously... Excuse me.
But they are, by law, when they are 16, are they an adult or not?
Yes, they are. They become an adult because in UK... If you can change your name at 16, you can do anything. You should be allowed. But obviously, I'm going through the court system. I'm going to get my children back. You know what? Even if it means me going through the higher courts, I will do. I will bring my kids back home, and they will come back where they belong.
But the court is not on your side.
I don't feel that the courts are on my side. The
No.
judge has not been very. I don't know. Maybe God can put something in her head and sort of say to her, you know what, hey, hang on here. You need to help this family and these children. But until today, she hasn't been helping them.
So I believe it's 1 year or 2 years for the oldest ones, and then the younger one is it's the age of Santiago's, so it's probably another 8 years until 16. You have to be strong.
Sorry to interrupt. I am hoping that it doesn't come to that and my kids come back home where they belong. Because obviously, according to the British law, the children's feelings and views need to be taken into consideration after the age of 7. And where my children are all above that age and are practically nearly teenagers.
Yeah. But it's good that you have that on your mind, and you have to have that to carry on. I was just saying the worst scenario is 1 year, 2 years, your children, they are back. Remember always that your children know who the mother is. You know the face of your children. And there is cases that they are slightly worse. My baby was a baby with 5 days old. So I know that deep down he feels that he has parents. He deep down knows that the family is looking for him. But I do not know his face, and he does not know who the parents are. And so it's a bit more difficult, but I have to keep the faith that, he's going to find me. And that's why...
Of course. You're his mum. The thing is, people don't understand, the connection a child has with their mother is unbreakable.
It is.
These monsters can come in and break families apart, but that bond that a child has for their mum is unbreakable. It is unbreakable.
And you might have a different religion from mine, but we all came from the same place.
Yes,
indeed. And life itself is a miracle. And I believe that there is something that will bring justice and will repair all of this torture. Would you like to say something to finish? Something to your children, for example, I don't know.
Firstly, I would like to say thank you for your time and energy and the support that you've shown me and my children through listening to my story. Secondly, I would like to say that I love all my children. And I want them to be at home with me as soon as possible. And I want all those mums and dads out there that are fighting for their children never give up. Excuse me. Never give up. Your children need you. They are counting on you to fight for them. Never give up. We cannot let these money-grabbing, horrible people, monsters, these pedophiles that are child trafficking and getting claws into our children, we cannot let them win. We need to all come together, regardless of what religion, race, colour, gender, what your sexual preference is, doesn't matter. We all need to come together to fight this injustice, to bring our babies home where they belong, and we need to get rid of this system once and for all.
Yes, you did say all. Thank you so much for the courage
Thank you
for coming forward to share your story, and thank you so much for being an example of courage. And you have been through hell, and your children, they have been through hell, and it's people like you that we need more and more to share the story and to say to everyone, this is happening, has happened to me, can happen to you, and you are no different. So thank you so much. And
Thank you.
I invite you, everyone, to leave your comment below, to like the video, share the video, subscribe this channel to support it. And if you would like to give voice to your own children, please send me an email and I will be very grateful for your trust. Mother, please be strong, carry on. You are doing amazing. And we will keep in touch, and I am sure that you are going to get your children back.
Thank you so much. God bless you, and thank you so much for being the voice for myself and my children and getting my story out there. And God bless people like you that are actually speaking up. And you know what? We mums, dads, sisters, brothers, whoever's going through this, we all need to stick together and come together. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a lovely day, my love.
Now, before I turn off, I will invite you to create an anonymous email and then give it to me so I leave on your video. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, to do it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, all the best for you, and we keep in touch. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for watching this video, and see you on the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.